You got it going? Welcome, welcome, welcome to another episode of Uncomfortable. We're going to go ahead and give some time for everyone to tune in. Alright, for anyone, let me go ahead and put my disclaimer now. No, I do not own the rights to this song, but we up in here, just me and my brother, jamming on some stuff. Anyone who wants to know the song, I'll go ahead and post it after, since we had a few people who inquire about the songs that we listen to. It's called Unfinished by Mendicia, I think is how it's pronounced. It's called Unfinished, which we know we are unfinished.
Right.
Why? Because God is still working on us. Yes, He is.
Yes, He is.
We are unfinished. So go ahead and give some people a little more time to go ahead and tune in before we get started. I'm excited about tonight. You excited about tonight?
I'm excited about tonight.
I'm really excited about tonight. I am very excited about tonight. Again, I do not own the rights to this music. Facebook be hating. They be trying to mute your stuff and pause it so people don't see what's going on, but no. And yes, for here. Yes. So anyone who's tuning in for the very first time, my name is Johanna. Thank you for joining us for another week of Uncomfortable. I am looking now at my Facebook Live people to say welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. I'm more than excited that you are here with us on tonight. You could have been doing anything else, but you are here with us tuning in, and that makes me very excited. So tonight I do have my brother in Christ, who I love so much. I have seen his transformation that has just been astonishing. This is the podcast show that is called Uncomfortable. It is called Uncomfortable for a reason.
Right.
Why? It's because if you have listened to any of my shows prior to this, you would hear me tell the story of when I was younger with my grandmother, when I used to sweep the floor. You know, you didn't get like all the trash up, because you know, we didn't have no dustpans and that.
Right.
We wasn't fortunate enough back in the day. But what we would do is pick up like a piece of paper or even a book and try to sweep that stuff up in there.
Right.
But you was never able to get all of it. So what you would do, you would sweep it underneath the rug or sweep it underneath the table. And that's what many of us do in our lives. Whenever we go through certain things, we want to sweep it under. It is a blessing in itself, and it is a full-blown description of your testimony.
Right.
You know, if you want to just give like a little background.
Right.
You know.
Well, you know, growing up as a young kid, you know, I was into a lot of things. I was into smoking marijuana. I was skipping class. You know, I was breaking in cars. I was doing everything that I wanted to do. Mm-hmm. And everything that I wanted to do, it caused me to get incarcerated a few times, many times. And it's not a good place to be. It was rough in there, very rough in there.
Yeah, I could imagine.
Right.
It was rough. I've never been, but I have many of my listeners in Facebook Live. You all have known the story it is that I tell with my dad. You know,
Right.
he was in and out of jail when I was younger. He was a drug addict and, you know, alcohol.
And they take store from you. They lock you down for 24 hours a day.
What?
Yeah, you don't eat. They put you in a hole. They take your mattress. They take your clothes from you. So actually, you're inside a cold room with no mattress on a brick for hours inside.
Oh my gosh, I couldn't imagine that. I remember whenever, I want to say it was the YMCA or the WCIA, but it was a little summer program that my mom and them signed me up for where you would work. So it's like you would go to school, but they would pay you to go to school, even though it's like $3 an hour.
Like JTPA or something.
Yeah, JTPA, that was
Right.
the name of it. And I remember we had a field trip. They brought us through the whole process on how like they book you. Then they would show you like where you would go get changed, or like you had to completely strip from your clothes, and then you have to get into like the jumpsuits and so on. And then from there is like, I don't know how it is now, but like they had these big rolls of tape that would go down with lines
on the floor. So you have to walk on one side.
was going, you had to stay to the right, but if you was coming the opposite way, then it would be that way, and you couldn't cross it. And they really treated us as if like we were inmates. And I knew at that time, like, nah, this is a place that I need to make sure that I never go, because I wouldn't be able to do it. I really don't know how I would do it.
Cold in there.
Yeah, it was cold. What would keep you from like pretty much just like going insane? Like what would make you like keep it all together? Like what were some of your thoughts that kind of occupied your time? Because I'm pretty sure you had like a certain time you had to wake up, a certain time you had to eat, a certain time you got to spend, like how my daddy would say, in the yard.
In the yard, right.
My daddy would say in the yard, and then it seemed like it was just a repeat every single day. So what would you do? Like what were some of your thoughts? Like while you were being there.
So while I was being there, I was definitely a lot of reading.
A lot of reading.
Yes, I would do a lot of reading, stay occupied, and definitely find a nice quiet place, nice friends, nice older guys, that I can maybe get some wisdom from.
Yeah.
That been in there a lot longer than I have. I read a lot of the Bible. I read the book a lot, and I made a lot of plans and goals for when I'll get out.
Yeah.
So I was definitely more focused on not coming back while I was in there.
Right.
Yeah, incarcerated, you got to have a good mindset and a focus point, mainly because the activity that's going on in there. They fight a lot, they steal a lot. At any given moment, you can get in an altercation, get in a fight, and get more time. So I was definitely aware of my surroundings and the people I hang with, and watch a lot of TV, did a lot of things that kept me away from them.
Yeah.
I went to school, got my GED.
Oh, what?
Yeah, I was in welding. I did a few things incarcerated that kept me focused.
Yeah. So it's really SLCC, if I'm not mistaken. They just recently show where 2 of the inmates had actually got, I think it was either their diploma or they received like their associate's degree, which I think is phenomenal. It is amazing. So there are definitely programs and activities within that you can take to where it really occupies your time. It gives you some type of hope and something to look forward to. That even
focus on goals. Focus on something positive. Stay positive. Stay prayed up in there, and keep the hope. Keep the hope up.
Yeah, because there's still hope. Now I know whenever you're in there, because like I say, I talk to my dad, and because I'm one of those. My husband always call me like I want to know too much. But how is it that you're gonna know if you don't ask? You know what I mean? It does say in the Bible that people perish for the lack of knowledge. So I want to get some knowledge. I want to get some understanding, on some things. But I know once you're in there, you have to adapt to a certain lifestyle, to a certain way. Like how you said earlier, it's a disciplinary action, a whole disciplinary style. Because why they're not just dealing with one, but they're probably dealing with hundreds, of either men or even women. But to say how, you had a lifestyle before you went in there, then you got in there, then you had to adapt to another lifestyle. What was it like with you coming out? Because that's the topic of it, like life after, like life after incarceration, life after prison, life after.
So trying to adapt to the new environment's challenge. Keep pressing and keep trying. Just don't go back to the same environment that you left out.
So what do you think was your biggest adjustment?
My biggest adjustment was that I focus on myself mainly, and God leading me, but I definitely changed my people, places, and the things.
Yeah.
Because, you know, a lot of times people end up in jail on account of being in the wrong place. And a lot of people end up in jail because of someone else.
Right.
People that you encounter and the places that you go, and just the things that you used to do that caused you to go there to not even do the same thing anymore. They definitely have a different mindset on life.
Yeah.
Right.
Cause I know, like with like I said, I never been there, like you know, on having to go through the process, but only on a field trip experience. But I know one of the things that my dad, because I can only speak from you know the stories, and it is that he would share with me is that whenever he came out, it's like sometimes he would feel as if like he didn't want to deal with like what he was coming home to.
Right.
So for him, it was easier for him just to do something and then just go right back.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because of like it could have been the fear that you said. But I think for the way how my dad, he would come out, he would be out for maybe like a couple of weeks, and it seemed like he just couldn't adjust, like he just couldn't get back into the routine. He just couldn't, you know, start to make sense of things. So because he was a drug addict and because, you know, he was an alcoholic as well, he geared back to those things, causing him, you know, to go back. And whenever when we would have our, you know, little talks or whatever, he would say it would be more of didn't know. And with him wanting to go back, it wasn't because he truly heartily wanted to. It was more so he didn't have responsibilities while he was in there. Nothing was in his hands to where he can control it, and he knew he was getting 3 meals a day.
Right.
He would take a shower, and he had a bed to sleep in, even though it wasn't but it was convenient.
And you know what, you actually, I thought like that a few times also.
Yeah.
So I understand what your dad went through and how you thought. Because I was like, man, I ain't got to deal with this.
Right.
I can just go to jail and do 3 months,
Yeah.
30 days, you know. I don't have to worry about all this. But the fact still remained when I came home, it's still there. So I had to change myself.
Yeah.
Right.
So what you saying that then?
So definitely moving in a positive direction.
Yeah, and now I do know, like, whenever you do come out, sometimes it's even hard to even find a job. So what was that like for you?
It was pretty tough. I filled out a few applications, and you know, they asked for criminal background.
Yeah.
And you know, I've been to jail for aggravated battery, attempted murder, 2 or 3 attempted murder cases, drug cases, a lot of gun cases.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't hiring that type of person.
Yeah.
So it was tough. It was tough.
I could imagine it was tough. Because I know with my dad, it was really hard for him to get a job. For my dad was, I come from a family of carpenters, so all the men that I really know is they work with their hands. In Keynote Ladies, they work with their hands. I come from a family of men who work with their hands. You know, it just so happened I married a man who works with his hands. So for me, that was just a blessing in itself. But my dad, he was able to utilize a job than work, you know, to this place here. So I know the moving is very important on how you have to do, how you have to move different to avoid even going back. But within the moving, I know like too with my dad, how he said like he just opened his eyes to so many things. Like it just gave him like so much clarity. You know what I mean? To just how to start handling business different. So, like, what was some of the things that your eyes were open up to? Like, what were you able to start really seeing clear? Because I know, like, Terrence, he would tell me, because he has a brother who went in and out of jail, and he would tell me all the time, like, you know, with my brother, he would go in, and even to my dad in his letters that he would write sometimes. But, you know, whenever he would be in there, or even Terrence's brother, how they would speak like in a positive, oh, when I get out, I'm going to start doing this different. Oh, I'm going to start doing that different. Oh, man, you know, whatever. But then when they get out, it's not the same thing all the time. Until my dad's last time, he came out and he said his eyes were just open. Chances in and for him just to really develop and fall in love with having a relationship with God, to where it's like, you know what, no, I know you got me. I know you have my back. I know you know really what your word says when it says that you would never leave me, nor would you ever forsake me. For him to really grip that in his heart, and that is one of the things that I pray for. And why is because the way how I pass it on my dad, but it's like whenever he first started getting into all that, God was nowhere in the picture of it. You know what I mean? But once you start to really taste and see that he is good, then you enjoy that good taste to where that is enough to make you not want to go back. So now in having your relationship with God, which, you know, that should fuel you. That fuels you even more. It fuels you more. I've done, regardless of what crimes I have committed. Now don't look at me like, hey, I done did some stuff. I ain't got we was riding down the street the other day, me and my sis Jess. Hey Jess, if you listening, Jessica G. And we was in the neighborhood on where I grew up at on Natling Street. And they had this. You remember that? That's why I stole my first brownie. Just thought she was I say that's the store. I stole my first brownie. But it's so crazy because like stealing is not anything that's taught to us. You know what I mean? Really committing crimes is it's something that we see. It's something that, you know, may be like in our surrounding areas. It may be something it is that we hear of. But really, who teaches you how, like how Brother Lawrence has said, the whole church is reading the Rooted book at this time, is that we, being older now and being in that Rooted book, is starting to uproot some things of behaviors that I had when I was younger, and not really being conscious about the fact that it's because of the people around me who were doing those things in a very subconscious kind of way. Like they intentionally wasn't doing it to teach us, but we were actually being taught, you know, based on their ways. So with that being said and done is, I know like for my dad, when he would talk to me like now or whatever, he said one of the things it is that he regrets a lot is the fact that he did that and he exposed it to me. Because I told him, I said, I stole some stuff out the stove before. And he said, and he'd be like, well, had I not done that, that's the same way how these generational curses of things, how it happens. Is because we have our great-grandfather, great-grandmother, all those people before us who did certain things, and then we start to question, well, how come I have this desire to want to do this, or I have this little feeling to want to do that? Is because our people before us, they actually planted those seeds, and now it's just flowing down to us, and that's basically how, you know, generational curses started. So and they wanted to make the change, so where people would start to call them, you know, like, oh, would you think you're too good for these streets now? Or you think you're too much? Yeah, because I want to turn my life around. I don't want to go back to jail. I gotta be too much. So that made them feel some type of way. Like, did you have any family and friends who, like, what?
Wow, when I got out there, like, man, you think you all that, you think you know it all. But actually, if a person feels that way about themselves, I am good, I am all that, you know, then that'll motivate them more to straighten their life up. You know what I'm saying? So regardless of what anyone says, that person knows that they
and it's the perspective you have on it, because you can either use the perspective of coming out as a crutch, like, nah, ain't nobody gonna give me a chance, ain't nobody gonna have no hope on me, like everybody gonna look at me as like an ex-con, or they gonna know I've been to jail, so it's like it's a no, I need to start looking at things for what it really is and looking at the reality of it, and I need to start making some changes. And I know that's some of the things that I witnessed at my daddy, and you know, like I say, some of my cousins, and you know, I ain't saying no names, but you know, a little bit on that. But they have experience with just knowing that, you know, even if you haven't been in prison before, even when you start to make a shift or start to make a change. You know, like why you just can't be happy for me?
Happy for me, you know, congratulate me.
Yeah.
I'm not going to jail anymore, I'm changing. I'm thinking differently, I'm treating people different.
Right.
Right.
And like we said earlier, is we serve at the same church.
Yeah.
So I know I was able to see my transformation from where you were then to where you are now. But when you first started, I want to say you was with us maybe what, 6 months?
About 6 months.
About 6 months, and then you left.
Right.
You left us.
I ended
We was
up.
like, where he going? Like, why is you leaving us? Why did you leave us?
I ended up falling back a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, doing some things that I knew better not to do.
Yeah.
And it
You know, be manifesting, and then something happens.
right.
And then they fall. But the blessing in yours and your testimony is you came back.
I came back. Right.
You came back.
Yes.
Many don't come back.
Right.
Have you ever thought about not coming back? And if so, why?
I never thought about not coming back. I was just scared.
You're
What
scared?
people may think on me, say, but that was my to the side and said I'm gonna go anyway.
Right.
Regardless, you know, how many times I fall, I'm gonna keep trying. And I'm
Yeah.
gonna keep coming back.
Yeah.
And that's what motivates me.
Yeah.
To keep trying, keep coming back when you do make mistakes and you do end up making a wrong decision because no one's perfect.
Right.
So knowing that no one's perfect, I'm liable to make mistakes.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna come back and try to fix that and learn from that.
You're gonna come back, and learn from, and that's the most
Hey, that's
important.
it.
Backsliders and the sinners and so on. So God wants that. And why? Is because He wants to get the glory out of it. And the testimony in it is that if He did it for you, then He can do it for anybody else out there in that exact same situation.
Correct.
To know that there's still hope. Like really understanding and knowing, and yeah, like we said, that we are fellowshipping here at the Harvest in the church, where we are a non-denominational church, and our belief is strictly biblical.
Right.
And horizontal with knowing that we have a relationship with God. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Knowing that He's, He's our everything. It's in Him do we live, we move, and have our very being. And knowing that apart from Him, that we are nothing. That's our belief back. And you didn't have to feel like you had to get anything right. Like you didn't have to change over. And I hear a lot, and the reason why I say it is because I hear a lot of people, like whenever you talk or you speak to them, and they be like, well, I'll be like, why you not coming to church? Oh man, I gotta get my life right first. It's like,
or something like I ain't gonna play with God right now.
yeah, I ain't gonna play with God right now. But He said, test me and see if I'm not good.
Right.
He said, test me and see. So, it just gives, even if it's a believer who may be backslid, or someone it is who fell, or even the non-believers, of knowing that it's still hope out there, despite of what you have been through, what it is that you have done. We are currently in the Rooted book, where we're talking about David. And any of the Bible readers who know David know that David never started out here.
Right. There you go.
David was the point. We're still in a work in progress to where we're becoming, but we fellowship together. I love the transformation that you have made. I'm so proud of you, so proud of your beautiful wife. And that's another thing. If you're one to where you're working at getting it better, you have to have a strong support system on the side of you.
Right. Correct.
How did that work? Like with your wife, and knowing that she was strong, she was praying for you. Like, what did that look like?
It looked like, a woman I ain't never met.
Girl, where you come from? Yeah.
Yeah. She been supporting me. She been there for me. When I was at my lowest, when I was in jail a few times, she was there. And definitely in my transformation, she keeps me motivated. She prays for me.
But I know that he who finds a wife finds a good thing. So he know that he found him a good thing. And one thing it is that we were told whenever we went through our counseling sessions is that we're never against each other.
Right.
We're always for each other, regardless of what the situation, regardless of what the circumstances may be in front of us, that we are always to work and pull together. You know what I mean? So that's a good thing with hearing that. And knowing that you have a good support system. You had a good support system. So now that y'all working together in the kingdom, because both my brother and my sister, they serve here at the Harvest Center Church as leaders. which is great and it's amazing. And we're gonna come to our conclusion because I know we can the sign, so you can do that. Didn't I not tell you you
Right.
be doing that?
Right.
But it was so good. Again, this is our topic of called life after, from prison to serving in the kingdom. And my brother, he is serving in the kingdom. Our pastor, right hand man, let me tell you, like,
Pastor DK?
yes, he works with pastor, and I be like, man, you spend more time with pastor than I do, man. Like, for real. For real. Like, you spend more time with pastor, which is a good thing. And why? Because it positions you to where you can soak it all in.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Can just soak all that godly wisdom and all that godly motivation and that godly encouragement and his silly spirit.
And his spirit. Yep.
His silly spirit.
And stay positive, stay motivated, and despite of whatever you go through, know that you can come. Just keep trying.
You just gotta keep trying. How we are told that many of times, many start the race.
Yeah.
Anybody can start the race, and many may run it, but not everyone's gonna finish it. So just to know that life after, whatever you're after, may be that there's still life that still continues, that you still can live, that you still can have hope, that you still can have faith on whatever your faith and your belief system. I pray that everyone was blessed, but more so, even if this message reached just that one person who needed to hear this, of knowing that there's still hope after whatever situation it is that you're going through, whatever situation it is that you're in right now, and just to know that God is so good.